Yo, what's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. Back recording live from the mothership. And we are here in SOBIESKA karate class. That's what we're gonna call it. Episode 1, SOBIESKA karate class. And this basically is gonna be like a kind of like what I did with Reina when I was maining Reina. And I would kind of pop up and just try and show you like specific matchup stuff that you could do, mostly with a Parry is what I was trying to show you, but just general like matchup stuff with other characters with Lidia. As you guys know, I've been trying to grind my Lidia. I'm trying to learn the character at a deeper level understanding. So what I've been doing, one thing I kind of enjoy doing in general is kind of going through the move list and seeing what moves I can make use of, right? Moves that maybe have, I don't know, how you can get more out of the character, I guess. So one thing I've been looking at is her parries, right? I feel like in Tekken 7, her parries were a lot more. I don't know ways. I can't even remember at this point what changed, if anything changed. Something definitely changed with her Sabaki. I think her Sabaki used to be a right hand. I don't know, but now it's just a high, which to be honest is probably better. But anyway, been going through her parries and Sabakis and kind of trying to see if there's a way I can use them more, because when you look at them on the surface, they're pretty good. Like especially her low parry or low Sabaki. And this one, like, they can do a lot of damage, right? So if you could find ways to bait your opponents in or actually land them, I've been trying to find that, basically. And what I landed is that I'm kind of seeing it more as, like, these options are going to be good. Obviously, like I say, if you have a read, I mean, like, not like I say, but obviously self-explanatory, if you have a read in your opponent, you're going to throw these out. But more, like, against the really, really 50-50 situations, like where it's like where you know you're just in a 50-50 situation and maybe it's not in your best interest to just block. So I'm gonna try and explain it. The character I got for this explanation is Ling Xiaoyu, right? So Ling Xiaoyu in this game is the perpetrator of probably one of the most egregious oppressive 50-50s in the game. It's kind of ridiculous. Her hypnotist 50-50 is nuts. So you've definitely seen it before. She'll do something like this, which you do forward 2 and automatically you're -9 and you kind of just have to hold this mix. And the mix is either this low that you see her go for here, which is home in. And obviously the hypnotist gimmick, I guess, is the more steps she takes, it powers up the moves, right? So she could take, if she takes 3 steps, this low becomes a launcher, home in launcher. And the kicker is that it's only -13 on block. Even when it becomes a launcher, at its best, it's still -13 on block, right? So you block something like this, and you get while standing 1-4, 32 damage. What's while standing 1-2? 30 damage. So you're getting 30, 32 damage, right? Whereas she could potentially be getting a launcher on you. And the best you're looking at, I mean, maybe you could parry it and get a little bit more. Lidia gets some pretty good parry damage, right? But generally, the risk reward there, not too hot, right? So she either goes for this low. I mean, she has other options, but most people will go for one of these 2 options, right? They go for that, or they go for this mid, which I should have blocked right there. You see it's a heat engager, which means during heat, it becomes a launcher. So she goes for that. I didn't block it again. Heat engager. It is a frame trap off of forward 4. So you see if I press, I'm getting hit. It's completely safe on block. I actually have to hold block. You can see right here it has decent pushback as well, so it's like a spacing trap almost in itself as well. The risk reward on this 50-50 is so far up Ling Xiaoyu's ass, it's ridiculous, right? Like there is almost no risk. Now obviously you can sidestep this one, right? And you can, if you're on your job, I guess, if you're on the ball, you can sidestep duck. But in the heat of a match, you know, online, might be a little bit tricky to kind of, it's not a fuzzy, but you sidestep left. Isn't it? You can do it. Maybe whether you can do it consistently and reliably is a different discussion, but there is some counterplay. But regardless, the point stands that this is ridiculously in Ling Xiaoyu's favor. If she could go for the mid, she can go for the low. Best case scenario for you, most times, you're getting 30 damage on a little punish, right? Worst case scenario, you're going up in the air, you're getting launched. And it's as easy as you can see as Ling Xiaoyu pressing forward, and now you're in mixed mode. For most characters, they kind of just have to guess. Even for you, right? I'm not going to sit here and tell you you don't have to guess, because it doesn't, the parries don't actually change anything in that regard. You still have to guess what's coming. It just changes the reward that you get. So for the low, for example, right? If you just throw in this parry, because like I said, look, in this situation, this is a situation, you're not really taking much risk. You know a 50-50 is coming. You know you're already accepting, all right, now I have to guess, right? So either way, you're going to be guessing in this situation. But now, if she does a low, and I get 62 damage now, right? And all of a sudden, that 50-50 ain't in her favor so much. It's kind of in your favor. Because, especially if they do it like this, where they only take one step, this low, that's all they get. That's a minor, right? That's not really a big deal for them to get that that low. So now, like I said, you parry this, and the thing is as well with this low parry, you can actually get clean hit on that follow-up, but it is like, I think this is something that needs to be fixed for Lidia as well. I say fixed, but like buff it. Just make it easier to get this clean hit. It's really hard to get the clean hit off of that on this follow-up. Like, you have to dive really deep, but then the timing is so strict, it is hard. I rarely ever get the clean hit for this follow-up. I think if you get a clean hit, you do about 67 damage, I want to say, something like that. But you can do, and if there's a wall there as well, I believe, like a balcony break, I believe that will break the balcony. Just a little added bonus. Yeah, getting the clean hit is really hard. But all of a sudden, you've turned 23, sorry, not 23, 30, 32 damage. You've doubled it, right? Now you're getting 62. If you could get clean hit, you're getting like 60, 67, something like that. And then you mix this up with the other parry, with the other option. I fucked up the time. This one's a little bit stricter. But even that, right? Like, 30 damage is not the biggest damage in the world. But as opposed to her being completely safe and you're in a spacing situation where, you know, it's still not completely safe, going from that and a 30 damage low punisher to 30 damage on the mid and 60 something damage on the low, that completely changes the mind. Like, it almost makes the mix not worth running for Ling Xiaoyu. Now, obviously, if you're predictable and you're just each time going for, they can work around that, right? Like, she doesn't actually have to commit to anything as well, which is another good thing about this 50-50 for Ling, right? So, but the thing is, like, again, if you're smart about it, you already know, if you know your opponent's going to commit to one of these options, even if they do the delay, right? So even if my opponent does this, takes a couple steps, right, and then commits to it, you can still, like, you can do it in a way where you don't have to commit to your parry until you kind of see them move. Like, it's not so strict that you have to be on the money. Like, you can wait to see your opponent flinch, go into their move. You don't have to know what it's going to be. You're still guessing. But as soon as you see your opponent go, let's try and run these all at the same time. And it's just, like I said, it's still just a matter of guessing. But I went too early there. I didn't even trust my own. Boom. And then you wait. You kind of wait to see them move. And like I say, even if you go early on the low, even if you go early on this, like, it's sort of thing where it's like, you know, like that. Like, I'll still hit my opponent out. Like, if they take a little too long and I've already pressed, I'll still knock my opponent out, which is, like, again, I'll still take that situation, right? Where we're in this crazy mix situation. I went too early, but again, like, I'm half focused. But you get the idea, right? It's not something that you're just going to be throwing out in neutral because, oh, I have a read. He's going to go low. Now! It's not that, right? It's not that situation. But in canned situations like this, where you're stuck in some of these Tekken 8 egregious 50-50 situations, I'll show you another situation that actually is very similar. As soon as I hit Lily, you probably already know exactly what it's gonna be, right? There's another situation as well, kind of with Steve, but Lily also has the similar mix, right? Which is just kind of egregious, like, right? She does that into that. Again, he engaged in mid. Or she does that into that. Again, the home in low. And this move here, again, minus 13. So not huge reward, right? And again, you see lilies do this a lot. Because again, the 50-50 is kind of just brain dead. It's like, I do it, oh, whatever happens, happens. Oh, if he blocks it, he blocks it. You know, like, it's like that, right? But then all of a sudden, you mix it up. And again, like I said, you're still guessing. It doesn't change that aspect. I'm just waiting for him to do the low, to be honest. Just to... Damn. That is an option as well. So that's where it's a little bit different. The Lily and the Ling. If you get counter hit with the Lily, you get launched, right? If you get counter hit with the Ling, it doesn't do anything. So it's a lot safer for the Ling to be throwing these options out. With the Lily, it's a little bit different. But that was a situation. The thing is with this, you're meant to just be doing the low. The thing is with this one, this isn't, you don't get counter hit for doing this parry. So really, unless you fuck up your timing on this, unless you're a lot too late, like that, unless you're way too late, which you shouldn't be, because again, you're ready to, you're not reacting, you're still guessing, so you shouldn't be late. But again, you look at this situation, boom, boom, 62 damage. They're not going to be going for this low anymore, bro. Obviously, again, a smart Lily is just gonna, oh, what have I done right here? Boom. A smart Lily is just gonna fake. They're gonna do it empty, right? And then they're just gonna do nothing. But again, like I said, you can flinch. As soon as you see her do a move, as soon as you're, oh, bang, and I'm guessing. Right? It's not as simple as just, oh, every time I'm just gonna, it's not as brain dead as their options are, right? But it puts things a lot more in your favor. And that's what I figured out about the parries. It's not like anything game changing, but it's just learning situations where the parry can be very useful to dissuade your opponent and make them not really want to, like, I'm gonna be honest, if I'm the Ling Xiaoyu and I'm getting hit with this every time I go into my hypnotist mix, I don't really want to do the hypnotist mix anymore, because it's kind of nullified. The whole point of that hypnotist mix is that it's so heavily in your favor. Once your opponent throws this in, it's not really heavily in your favor anymore. You're getting punished for guessing wrong just as much as they're getting punished for guessing wrong, if not more now, right? So yeah, I haven't seen many more situations. There's a very similar situation with Steve. I'm not even gonna go into it. With Steve, when he does, I don't know what the spin is called, he does the spin into the low punch, or he does the spin into the mid punch. Very similar situation, right? At that point, you already know you're in a 50-50 situation, right? It's mid or it's low, right? You could flip the favors in your, you could flip the, I don't know the word, but you could put things in your favor just by using this and this. Again, it's not something, this is a lot safer. You could throw this out a lot more in neutral, and if you're wrong, it's kind of like, oh, whatever. This, you don't want to throw this out in neutral just because I have a read and I think he's going low. But it's a lot safer in certain situations like these, where, like I said, you kind of know the low is coming and you could be confident. Like I said, you have to take the mix one way or another. Either way, I'm taking the mix. Let me at least put the wrist in my favor. The mix. Let me put the mix a little bit more in my favor. And that's it. That's it for episode 1 of Sobieska Karate Class. Like I said, I'm just going to be anything I find that's kind of matchup specific to Lidia. Lidia Tech. Love this character. I'm going to keep grinding, trying to find more stuff and get better with this character. And anything like that will be, I'll be letting you guys know. But that's it for today. I'm going to be back on ranked real soon. And setting that grind off. But until then, catch you guys later. Peace.